This is a mausoleum bell. This is a church bell. This is a wraith summoning bell. And this is the spirit summoning bell we get from Rani. Yet upon a closer inspection, the bell we use doesn't seem quite right. Somewhat false advertising, not quite the same as the display pic. That's because, despite the sound it makes, it's a concrete box. And I'm not talking about the box of ashes we raise to presumably store and release the spirit ashes from, but the actual bell we jingle in the other hand. It's also a stone box, with inscriptions on it similar to those we see on gravestones or the divine towers. Everyone always asks what the Albinauric is, but never how. And if you have a close listen to what they murmur, you'd understand why, and that they've been telling us all along. Their day is going terribly, and they wish us the worst.
All stars, all night, all feet, punish them all, punish the world entire. We speak to those who forsake us, to this world that shuns our kind. Punish every living thing. Punish every living thing. Punish everything. Punish every living thing.
I'd be mad too if my legs were phasing out of reality. Raya Lucaria is a trove of lore goodies and horrific secrets, like special unmarked shaman warrior jars with gold kintsugi stitching together their cracks. We only ever see these unmarked jars as the ones thrown by trolls which are faux sorceries created by the Academy, and the ones suspended on the ceiling in hero graves above the chariots. And these connections and secrets of the Academy are safe under lock and key, being monitored all day every day by these freaky security cameras. But one of the more interesting architectural secrets is the presence of the king, queen, and baby statues from Farum Azula. And this isn't in isolation, as Raya Lucaria, like Leyndell, shares quite a few of Farum Azula's signature motifs. You'd never guess what's lurking here, beneath this mass of roots near where the Erdtree sits on the map. And what actually rests here likely goes far beyond what you're picturing. Here is a side-by-side of the game and Smithbox, where I open the models to get a better look at both the scale of this stump compared to the other giant trees around it and the other models and characters in the area, as well as the golden texture of this tree. As you can see, compared to these knights, an ancient dragon, Godwyn, and a building for comparison, it's big. Here it is next to the Erdtree, and it makes a convincing visual case as the potentially bendy part of what was the Shadow Tree. I haven't manipulated its orientation, and this is just how it looks when put next to it. Here is the Shadow Tree for reference, like the twisted form of Saint Trina wrapping around Mikola. What you see now is the widened stare of an ancient warrior, aware of a nearby threat and prepared for battle. And when he doesn't think anyone is watching or nearby, this is the facial expression he pulls. I can't even begin to fathom where his mind's wandered, and to be quite frank, I think some things are better left unknown. Bro's biting his bottom lip and has the pleasure eyes. Personally, this has designated them as a long-distance enemy for me from now on. Messmer's base serpent is a pale white monstrosity that emerges from his equally pale and monstrous self. But this isn't a feature unique to Messmer. We see the exact same situation, with a pale white snake emerging from within the pale white individual as if it were a part of their very being. Many already know about the silver-faced abductor virgins, who sport these pale white or silver snakes that emerge from within them, who have wheel wombs similar to Messmer's coil of serpents behind his eye, and whose image of nursing a baby is strikingly similar to the figure of Marika nursing Messmer in his chamber. But not so many know of the pale white gladiators turned grave wardens of the Forbidden North. sealed away and hidden from the rest of the lands. Unlike those south of the Forbidden Lands, they too have a pale white base serpent that emerges from their own flesh and blood. After it's finished attacking, it returns to the Gladiator Warden's flesh through a black miasma. And speaking of blood, Sanguine Nobles serve and slay in style, but their drip is actually genetic. Not only are they dressed up for a special occasion on every occasion, but they literally have high heels as heels. Meaning yes, they killed you while twirling around in heels. This is also a feature of the Lamenters, far less noble basement dwellers, who don the fell god's face on their back. These pests may be entirely repulsive, but just like their decaying mothers, the weapon they wield appears to be made of superior craftsmanship. The Pest Glaive has what seems to be a star map constellations, or perhaps more appropriately, spore colonies in its design. Or perhaps it's meant to invoke both, which would be very appropriate given the nature of life and stars, and rodden fungi in the cycle of life and death. Celia is a secret windmill village. While most of the towers are now fitted with torches reminiscent of the eternal cities which reveal the secret of Celia, what once very likely stood in their place were windmills. We can determine this based on the one remaining windmill in the village and the official concept art for Celia, which shows all of these towers sporting the same vertical windmills. These are called asbads and are the original windmills of the Middle East. The giants summoned by the purple Tibia Mariner have a Gloam infinity ring on their finger, and we see this in a few places like the Round Table Hold, Gideon, Mikola, or the chair with the twin-tailed merman. The projectiles these abominations launch at us bear the same markings as those found on the larger ones through the ruins, which looks like mini versions of the fingerprint shield, said to be part of the tomb of an ancient god. The same goes for the finger sorceries and the glinting nail tool crafted from shards of these finger pillars by the finger weavers, followers of the fingers who were said to copy their sorceries. Interestingly, it states these markings hover above the nail. I've seen some people point out that the Shadowtree avatar has another version of it, hiding beneath the arena with two heads, but everyone seems to have missed the sneaky third version hiding above that, bearing a third head, no doubt representing the model being used for the third phase. This is more a matter of speculation, however you decide for yourself. The beginning of the game presents to us this doorway which is seemingly the entrance to the Erdtree, and I think that is exactly what it is. If we explore just below the floor of the arena we fight Radagon in, we can see a layout strikingly similar to that of the opening cinematic where the Tarnished arises from. The similarity when facing where would be the entrance marked by this return route, as I call them, is pretty convincing, and as we see, just beyond it is the entrance to the Erdtree. There's a weird Black Knife assassin in Ordina which, despite being spectral, leaves footsteps, unlike the spirit wolves who don't, despite the physical ones nearby leaving footprints. What's more, despite being a spirit, its form is revealed by the use of the sentry's torch just like it would be for a normal Black Knife assassin. This half-invisible assassin just adds an extra layer to the bizarre nature of the Black Knife assassins who usually bleed this black miasma, with exception to this one who has blood oozing from wounds all around her, and who cannot use destined death attacks, which is the topic of my last video. So if that interests you, go check that out. The next video I release will be my next longform, which will cover Caligo, and I'm certain it will be my best video yet. This short video is just something to help sate you all while I craft the longer videos, and to help introduce some of the things I show in videos too long for many to watch, or that I couldn't justify making an entire video about. So please let me know what you thought and if you'd like to see more videos like this one. I have genuinely a truckload more I could share, and I think it could go well to ease the wait between big projects. Thanks for watching, and thanks to my incredible Patreon and YouTube members who support this channel and make the amount of research I can do possible. Each one of you bring me one step closer to achieving a dream, and I won't forget it.